What's good, Black Star Podcast? Welcome back to the channel. It's your boy Jared, y'all. Today we're going to be looking at a video from Anton Daniels. Now, this particular video is going to be about women being under patriarchy and how women benefit from the patriarchy. Now, I know I'm going to get a lot of women that's going to be angry as shit. I'm sorry. But what's about to happen in this video, I'm probably going to agree with, and I'm going to probably agree with some of it and probably not agree with all of it. But let's look at this because he has a panel of black women, of 9 black women to be exact. Well, 8, and I think one's a Hispanic woman. But he has a conversation with all 9 of these women, and let's go ahead and get started because I'm interested in this conversation. Let's get it.
You don't want to leave because you love that person, but your finances will force you to unlove this person because when shit can't get paid, motherfuckers start looking ugly. When shit can't get paid, everything, you just walk around with the stink face. When shit can't get paid, everybody grilling everybody. You ready? You really
everybody mad.
You looking like, bro, you ain't gonna go rob a 7-Eleven or something like the rent do. The kids hungry. So that's why I believe marriage is more. It should be political first. Then are we in love? And then all right, let's do business. Can we come together and can we create an empire together? And that's what I have in my house. We have an empire. And we will.
I just feel like that puts a lot of pressure on women. I really do. That's a lot of pressure. Not every, speaking for myself, I didn't get married to create an empire. I didn't get married for some, I don't really understand what you mean by political, but just saying for political reasons. That's not why I got married.
Yeah.
So, and I feel like that puts a lot of pressure on women because, okay, now you're saying I have to find, under my standard, okay, I have to find a man of God and then someone who wants to build an empire. Some people just I think it's perfectly fine to be a normal person.
Building an empire is a normal person. I'm gonna tell you.
Okay, before Ava starts talking to Jordan, ladies, an empire doesn't necessarily mean a whole bunch of businesses, a whole bunch of real estate, a whole bunch of stocks and investments like that. That's not what an empire means. An empire could be a family, wealth. That could be an empire. Children that grow up to be something great. That can be an empire. That's legacy. Between you and your wife or your spouse, you're building a legacy. You're building an empire that can last generations. A legacy that can last generations. That's what that means. A lot of women hear empire, they think money, 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 money. They don't think about the other things that come along with that. Let's get it.
Let me tell her this. I'm gonna tell you like I told them last week when I was on the panel. If you don't own shit, you ain't nobody.
But that's not empire.
Hold on. If you don't own shit in this country, you're nobody. Mm-hmm. You went to law school, you a lawyer. You should be trying to leave your handprint or your footprint in the foundation of this country before you leave here. Because once you leave here, nobody's going to remember who you are. You need to leave some type of stamp to say, when my grandmother was here, she held it down. But see, you want to live this, you the type that you want to live this 1920s marriage. You understand what I'm saying? And that's just, it's just not working for my household. My husband is a king. And when I tell you he a king, he's really a king. You
want to know something crazy? She's right about that. Ava's right about it. Leaving your mark upon the world so that people remember that you were here. Because a lot of people, you forget about them every day. A lot of people don't achieve anything in their lives. There is one person Actually, 3 people to 4 people I can remember that's left a lasting legacy. You want to know who? James Earl Jones, the voice of Darth Vader, Mufasa, and the King from Coming to America. John Amos from Good Times. Chadwick Boseman, the Black Panther. And last but not least, the king or the godfather that's got me doing this, Kevin Samuels. All 4 of those men, and there's numerous others, have left their mark upon this world. And people are going to remember this for generations. You want to leave something on this planet that makes everybody remember who the fuck you were. For me, this podcast and the businesses that I want to build, that will be my contributing factor to society and life. And I want to be remembered for generations. The company I want to build, the mega billion-dollar company I want to build, building robots, building military equipment, building aerospace technologies, building all sorts of different shit. That's what I want to leave. This is what I want to leave behind. I want to give back to my community. That's my empire I want to build. And I don't have a queen because I'm a king. I don't have a king. I don't have a queen yet. When I get married, that'll be my queen. But I'm going to vet her ass thoroughly. She going to be getting put through the paces. I don't give a fuck. You need to learn. You need to know certain shit for me. I'm sorry.
Understand? So when he leave here, our Blackwell last name will be really, it's going to be strong. It's really strong. You can Google him right now and you'll see tons of stuff on him. But he worked for that. And I sat here in his home. I did my part. Anytime he needed me, I was there. If he didn't need me and he needed me to just be quiet because he needed to think while he was in the tub, I did that too. You understand? But when we leave up out of here, everybody will know who the Blackwells were.
And that's amazing. That's amazing for you. But I didn't go to law school to leave my mark on this country. I live my life for Jesus. I don't live my life for anybody on this earth. I really don't. I don't care what type of mark. When I die, I want my children, my great-grandchildren, not to say she was an amazing attorney, because I don't plan on practicing that long to even do all that. But I want them to say she was a wonderful mother. She was a wonderful.
So you're an attorney, but you don't want to practice that for long. So why did you go to school for that amount of time just to fucking squander it away and say fuck it at the end of the day? That's what I don't understand about these type of women. You go to school and you say you don't want to practice being an attorney for a long period of time that actually makes you known to the world. But you go to school that long and then you gain all of that. You gain all of that damn debt. You gain all of that knowledge and then it just goes to waste. That's the shit I don't get with these women. You go to become a lawyer and you become a lawyer. Then you start saying, I don't want to do this for long. Then why go in the first place?
Wonderful wife. She raised me to be a feminine woman. I saw a perfect relationship, a good marriage between her and my father. That's what I care about. What?
Isn't that the norm? Like everything you're saying.
That's what I'm saying.
It's just
people need to be normal. Like I feel like as a society, we've pushed this.
You don't get rewarded for being normal. You don't get brownie points because you was a good mother. You're supposed to be a good mother.
I think you're misunderstanding what I'm saying.
So her reward is in heaven. Her reward, George's reward is in heaven. I
Oh,
don't
okay.
think that there's anything wrong with what either one of y'all are saying.
No, y'all just want different things, and that's okay. Y'all both have different kind of legacies, and that's okay.
Yeah.
And I was gonna say that I agree with like parts of everything you were saying. And Ava, I don't want to put words in your mouth, but the political part that I took from it, because this is how I take it, I feel that people need to start dating with intention. Like I feel like a lot of people would just start dating, they mess it around, they try and figure out if they like each other. Let me tell you, me and my husband first date. Do you want kids? Yes. Do you want marriage? Yes. How many kids do you want? Yes. What? How do you lean on this? Yeah. If our son was gay, would you be okay with that? Yeah. How do you feel about like you need to be on the same page. You have to have the same morals and values, whatever they may be, but they need to link up for the majority of it. Like your core values and morals have to link up together. So I don't know if that's the politics you mean, because that's what I took from it. But I think it's sad that we live in a generation that people do not date with intention anymore. I don't just go out willy-nilly. Some girls are going out to get free dates. Some guys are just going out because they just trying to get some cheeks. You know what I'm saying? Like I feel like people need to date with intention. If you want to get married, then don't even go on a first date if that person does not want to get married, or make sure y'all have some kind of conversation of what you expect. First date, that was another thing. My husband's very traditional. He would want me to stay home and he would like to work. Like right now, just with the economy, it ain't working out like that, but I'm okay building up to a point where we can do that eventually. And he, like I said, we had the same morals on how fatherhood. I'm not dating that kind of man that, oh, you the woman, so you do everything else. No, he help. If I cook, he'll do the dishes. If he cooks, I'll do the dishes. Like it's not, if he helps me, if I do the laundry, he'll help me fold. Everything, there's a partnership. And there's some things that he's better at and there's some things that I'm better at. But you have to date with intention. And I feel like that's the problem. A lot of people are just getting into relationships. Unfortunately, they're getting knocked up by people. They're having babies. And I always say this, I don't care, man or woman, because we all know the consequences that if you have sex, there's a possibility to have a child. Do not sleep with someone if you are not comfortable with the possibility of being family. Do not sleep with them. It's that simple. And I feel like a lot of people these days are just, they want to be free and do what they want. But you know what? Freedom comes with responsibility. And that's just it. Be responsible, date with intention. And again, more women need to realize that, because I will say, I grew up where I grew up and masculine women was the norm. It wasn't until I met my husband where I was able to submit, where I realized, okay, this is where I need to be. And I feel like a lot of women haven't learned that yet. They haven't been loved by a woman enough to submit. And I feel like that's another thing too, because a lot of men will say, oh, you need to submit. You submit to a good man, like how you would listen to your father, how you would listen to your brother, how you would listen to your uncle. And that's another problem too. We don't have a lot of men that are vetting the men that we are dating. So I can understand.
Let me just interject right here because she said a lot. What Crystal's saying is true, but also you got to think about it like this too. The women aren't teaching the girls how to be submissive. A lot of women don't teach women that their power is in their submissiveness. They don't teach them that. They don't teach the women that you being a submissive woman is powerful. Most of the time you see these women, they be like, oh, I gotta go get this, I gotta go hit the bag, I gotta do this and this and this. A lot of these women nowadays, they don't go for they don't think submissiveness is powerful. They think submissiveness is weak. That's the thing. A lot of these women think submissiveness is weak.
That's another problem too. We don't have a lot of men that are vetting the men that we are dating. So I can understand like something like that happen where people get lied to, but I feel like too, love blinds you. So you need to have other men around you or other people that will keep it real with you to point out the things that you ain't seeing. Because I've seen it.
What do you think?
I've seen
what
it.
do you think that? What do you think Alicia thinks about this whole thing?
Oh my God!
This is gonna be just a stroke. So Alicia,
Why are you picking on Alicia?
I'm just messing with her.
I was about to say I'm never gonna have a preconceived notion of anybody. I don't judge people on how you look, whatever, what your thoughts are.
Renee,
I'm just saying in general.
Let's see what Renee thinks, because she hasn't said
it. Is a joke, but go ahead, Renee.
Get on him, Renee.
I ain't got nothing to say. I did, but it was like 10 minutes ago.
Y'all more than welcome to jump in popcorn style and say y'all thought.
Yeah, I was trying to, but I don't like to scream back and forth, so
I do want to say something. I think okay, so we have an understanding that the best way to date will probably have the mindset to be intentional, but we have to have those examples. We have to set those examples. Society is running on hookup culture and dating apps. These grandmothers are 40 years old. You know what I'm saying? They out twerking. We have to have a fundamental shift in society. Like we can't just say, and I agree with you, how yes, it does need to be intentional, but until we have a culture that promotes it and incentivizes it and keeps the family unit together, so the families, because relationships are a blending of families, not just two individuals. And I think that's why here in America it collapses compared to a lot of the family structures in other cultures. I'm sorry, in other cultures. So, and then we have like Cardi B, for example. She's married, obviously, but her messaging does not promote.
She's getting divorced.
Okay.
she's still married.
Technically,
She's
she's
still
She's
married.
been dragging us through the ringer with her marriage. I don't know what she's doing, but
She's still married. Don't matter.
she popping out babies. That's what she's doing. But yeah, so I think if we are gonna have marriage be the goal, it can't be super toxic. Like we need better examples of it. We got to start pedestalizing different people, different relationship goals. No more dating apps. No, I mean, do what you do, but I think it's just gonna have to be a big shift culturally, especially having the families involved.
When you say culture, you mean like Black culture or like American culture?
Society, just society. Like the culture's period is not promoting marriage. Most songs about rapping is promoting cheating, homosexuality. Like it's not. You don't hear anybody talking about being married,
I think in Black
being
culture,
faithful.
from my experience, I think that's Black culture.
What is your experience?
It's
Jordan?
white culture
What do you
too.
think
Taylor
is-
Swift, all
Well,
she talk
white
about is
people
breakups.
consume rap music too, but they don't necessarily get so deep off into it like a lot of Black people do. But go ahead,
what is
Jordan.
your experience, Jordan? Why do you say that?
Because my experience is Black people, yeah, that's the culture, dating apps, not getting married, baby mama, baby daddy, all that stuff. I don't see that in any other culture, and it might just because I'm from the South, I live in the South. These white people are getting married very young.
Yeah, I will tell you that all of the things, white people are the grandfathers of all of the things that are exponentially affecting the black community more. So, for
Why not?
They
example,
also take out their spouses.
I'll give you an
It's how
example.
ready to go.
I'll give you an example. Feminism was a thing that basically black women latched onto. It wasn't a thing that they conceptualized. Men falling under the burden of child support, and then the family court system affecting them, and then ultimately them creating groups like Men Go Your Own Way that was largely started by white men. Black men are just now starting to catch on. When it came to passport bros, white men they've been on it for a long time. It's been a thing. Them and the military and people that travel abroad, black guys are just now starting to have a conversation about it. When you see what is happening as far as men having problems with divorce and women leaving them, and ultimately, leveraging the children in order to continue to take advantage of the fact that they may not have to pay alimony, but they can still get something as far as the family court system. That has been a part of every single community. When I get calls from guys that are looking at insight and I start to deep dive into their life, I will tell you that it knows no bounds. I get calls from Asians, white people, black people, Hispanic men, all that type of stuff. It is not I think that it is an American culture. I don't think that it's I think it exponentially affects the culture and the community more, but I believe that it really is a thing.
Okay, let me rephrase. I think my experience living in the South, marriage is promoted to be a positive thing, and I see it reflected in all around me. I don't.
No, because I'm here in South Carolina. you hear about marriage, but it ain't that. Maybe where you wet, yeah, but for the most part, marriage ain't promoted like that. It's not. Rappers rule the streets down here, especially in damn Atlanta. You go outside, you see these broads, bruh. These broads crazy.
See the problem of people not getting married in the South. That's just from my experience.
Are you in
Okay.
Texas?
Let me
Yes.
ask you another question. Then.
STD rate high here too. So
Well, let me ask you another question though. Marriage is promoted. How much do you see divorce though? Do you see people staying together forever?
I haven't been married
Nope.
that long to even answer that question.
No, not you personally. I'm saying that culturally, right?
Um, so I think the divorce rate, there's a lot of factors you have to account for. And once you account for those factors, the divorce rate goes way down. So I understand the argument, oh, well, people are getting married in the South, but they're also getting divorced at higher rates. Yeah, but if you account for their education level, again, like the religious being equally yoked, I assume, if they don't have debt, look at those statistics and you won't see as high the 50% divorce rate that people like to state that that's what it is, because it's really not. And they loop all the people. So if you're 19 and you get married, and you're 28 and you get married, they're going to loop those 19-year-olds who get divorced, and that brings up the divorce rate. People don't look at that. All they see is, oh, there's a 50% divorce rate. People aren't staying together, and I don't actually believe that's true. I think the statistics are just skewed.
Jordan, you made a really good point about being equally yoked. And when I was doing this, I couldn't think of what it was, but it's just being equally yoked with someone. And when you're with somebody when you're young, because I was 21, but I was with him since I was 17. When you're with somebody when you're young, you're growing with each other. But once you get to a certain point and you're not on the same, you're no longer equally yoked. You can try, you can do what you can try to encourage, you can be as good as a wife or as a husband as you can be to the other person. But if you're not on the same page and there isn't a sort of drive to want to be on the same page, would you like what's to be expected, like to stay there? So that's what I was trying to say. You phrased that perfectly with being equally yoked, and a covenant is important and everything is important. But I don't think that just being in love with somebody should be the only reason why you get married. Love is important, but I would admit that ladies, try to wait as long as you can. Try not to get married young, but if you do get married young, think about long term and not just in the moment.
Get married young. Get married young.
Oh my gosh, Jordan.
Maybe not 19 young, but get married young.
Not 20, I'll say 20, 24, 25.
23, 24. You're senior year of college. You need to be thinking about, is this the man I'm going to marry?
I think
I'm
after
also from the
25.
South. And the
After
reason why people
25.
get married young is simply because they want to go ahead and start their family and they don't want to have babies out of wedlock.
Good.
And they also want to combine their families. So if you come from your family has money, my family has money, we ain't gonna lose if we get together.
Politics. It's political.
But it is a socioeconomic factor in when people get married. If neither one of y'all have nothing, it's really nothing for y'all to be getting married for. I think that's what Ava was speaking to as far as politics. Where are your morals at? And it's not just enough to be a man of God, because there's a lot of men in the church that will use God to manipulate you. I cheated, we're gonna blame the devil, and then we're gonna be back.
Say they're not a man of God. Then. They're not a man of God.
You know what we call them? We call those pimps in the church.
And God and every man is just a man. Now you can attach yourself to God and try to make you bigger than what you are, but if you're not humble enough to know that you're not, and to think that you can run your house like you're God, That's not going to work.
No, you're just supposed to run your house, and you should love your woman as you love the church. So if you're not loving your woman, you're not loving the church.
And if
So
you
that's what
don't
I'm saying. The people that cheat, then they're
yeah.
not a man of God.
In the
The
South,
reason I
we
say
have a
get
lot of
married young-
prosperity churches, and they are about money. They're not about the word of God. They're making up scripture.
Oh yeah, I wouldn't agree they're real churches either.
Yeah. It's
You don't
I
have to
run
go to
my
church
house
to have
like
a
I'm
relationship
God.
with God.
I run my house like I'm God.
I don't think cheating got to
I
do
can
with
tell.
anything being a man of God.
But
I
no,
don't know where
you
y'all
might
get
be
that
running it
from.
like a king, but I don't think you're running it like you're God. I think
I
you are.
run it like I'm a God.
Do you let your wife have
What does
perspective
I don't know?
over
Maybe explain to me.
decisions?
What does cheating got to do with not being a
Say
man
that
of God?
again.
I think no. I just said if they cheat
No,
and
not
y'all
cheating.
get and he don't take accountability, y'all just blame the devil and move on.
If
Eventually,
No, men.
what do you mean if they cheat? I don't understand it.
I said a man of God that's manipulating you when he cheats, y'all blame the devil and then move on.
I don't know who no y'all is. I've never
I
cheated.
didn't say y'all. I'm talking about the women that want a man like that.
It's the demons.
Because you
Now want a man like what? I don't understand.
a man that puts himself as if he's a prophet, a gift from God, straight from God. If
I
he's
am a gift from
God's
God.
shadow. I ask you, but do you let your wife like have it like an input on your household decisions at all?
Well, give me an example. Let's be specific.
I don't know. Y'all want to redecorate? I don't know. You want to put a deck in the back? Do you let her help make that decision, or do you just say we getting a deck?
Listen, I'm too busy to be concerned myself with a deck. I don't give a fuck about no decorations.
So give me an example of a time you let your wife have input. I just want to see if you really run it like
If she want a deck, she can get a deck.
not the deck, but I'm saying something that's not personal that you've like. Okay,
you got to give me an example because you said it.
Are you meaning like business wise?
Yeah,
Business wise,
maybe.
something.
Is she involved in the business?
She works for me.
She was your love and your secretary.
No, she works for me.
But does she get to make decisions, or does she
responsibility.
just take orders from you? Does she get to make decisions, or does she just take orders from you?
She seeks my guidance because she understands that I'm
okay. You giving a Kamala Harris answers? You're not. I'm not. Straight answer, but
if you pose it like you frame the question and you give a specific example, I could tell you exactly how I handle it or how I would handle it.
That's why I asked you for an example, because I don't know how you. I don't know.
Give me a scenario then. Give me a scenario.
Like if she wants to purchase a car, does she got to ask Anton like something like that? Business wise?
Is that what you asked?
I think on that note, you have to consult the other person because it's their money.
What about like schooling, like private school, like versus Catholic, or like something like that, like education wise?
Your daughter is 16. She want to get her.
Okay, so yeah, that okay. That was going nowhere. But I believe I understand where she was going with the question. I believe I do know, but she couldn't figure out how to actually frame it just right. So I guess. But what she's saying is honestly, to me, it just seems like she's trying to get a sense of how Anton handles his household. But my thing is this: I could probably answer that question if it comes to like a business decision, when it comes to like a let's just say a certain client that you want to bring in, but you don't necessarily understand their dilemma or what they're looking for in a product. I would say that would be the best decision to try to handle yourself. Ask me to handle with you. But as far as like, shit, I don't know. She did not frame that damn question right. You see, I'm over here trying to struggle to find out what the hell she meant. So I guess. But anyways, guys, like, share, subscribe to the channel, support the podcast, and support the comment. I'll catch you guys on the flip side. Thank you guys for listening. Bye, guys.